Hi, this is Mark Blackwell from Farmtown, and we're getting ready to do our very first free seminar from Don Bell with Top Secret. Here at Farmtown, we have all kind of hunting supplies. Our website is farmtowninc.com, so be sure and log on to our website, see what we're all about. Every year we put on a hunting seminar, and today's hunting seminar is sponsored by a lot of different vendors. We have Code Blue, we have Summit, we have Moultrie, also the cooking. We have Johnny Nix with outdoor cooking here. The conservation department's here with the laser games for the kids. The game wardens are all coming. They give a lot of helpful hints, tips, safety tips for all the hunters. We've got a fishing table, a hunting table. 4G Draw is here, so the list just goes on and on. The Wild Turkey Federation is here, so it's a very exciting day, and we're glad to have all of you here. We appreciate you being here. It's something we do every year, so one of our best days of the year. So in just a few minutes, Don Bell will be getting up to do our live seminar. So thank you, and I appreciate you coming out today.
There's some here, there's some right there, and if you guys want to, I'd be grabbing a chair. They're going to film this for TV, so don't pick your nose. Because if you do, he's going to zero in on your butt. He's that type. Yeah, well, guys, on these name tags, we'll take them up in just a second. Well, in fact, we need to take them up now. How many of you have not turned in? How many of you got a tag?
If you only got one with front, you're okay. But if you got two pieces, we need to turn one in.
Anybody got a blue one you need to turn in? Blue? Just keep the second part. You guys come on in and grab you a chair.
Go ahead and turn in. There you go. Anybody else have two blue tickets?
What you up to? Doing great, man. Good to see you too.
Guys, there's some chairs right around here. I'd grab them.
Yeah, if you have one,
I'll get them. I'll get them.
That thing up good.
Yeah, I don't draw it. I learned a long time ago, don't draw this. That's a lose-lose. Yep. Guys, there's 3 chairs right here up front here. If you guys, somebody want to come up front and sit. There's 2 right there. Come right on up. There you are. Ain't bashful. I spit, but not that bad. You think I'm kidding you, don't you?
When I was in school, the teacher made me sit on the front row.
Really?
So I got used to it.
That's right. Guys, we got 2 more up here. Are these chairs taken? Okay, mighty fine. Okay. Guys, there's 2 chairs right here. There's one here, and there's one up front here. What's bad about this? Are we going to talk about deer urine?
Heard worse, just not today.
Well, you will be able to say that you have. Is that good? Got a chair right here.
Because we can do some giveaways.
Come on.
I'm gonna go out there and look at the creek and shut.
There's a chair right there now.
That's okay.
Anybody still in there trying to ticket in? All right, everybody got a ticket?
I'm gonna let you give me
Man, what a crowd.
at some part in the seminar. I'm gonna put some foam on me. I'll need that to wipe it off.
You know, we do this every year.
It'll be obvious. I need the paper.
Involved as we did this year, but I tell you what, it's very exciting to see the community support us. Farmtown really works hard to support our community, and it's obvious that on a day like today, the community supports us, and we're really, really proud of that. We're going to start by just going ahead and doing the giveaways. I'm going to let Kevin draw, and then anybody else need to turn in a ticket before we start?
Anybody else have any tickets? We're fixing to do
got
a
any more
drawing.
tickets?
Right here.
Here's a few more right here. All right, we're going to start by drawing
I'm trying to stay close to
for
it.
hats. We're going to start by drawing for some hats right here. So Kevin, you go ahead and draw and start calling out some numbers.
590845.
845. 845 is the last four digits. All right.
Seven, 5, 8.
758. There you go. All right. Let's go.
746.
746. T-shirts.
796.
796.
Next team.
792.
Keep them going.
833.
833. Where? Oh, look at you.
We got some top secret hats.
770. 763.
Right there on the end.
782.
Got two more shirts.
794.
794.
775. 846.
846.
780.
Got a few more hats.
Back here in the back, boy. Blue shirt.
Is this going?
I don't know.
Better ask you. Don't know.
838.
838.
Is the hoster going?
Yeah. Okay.
848.
848. Oh, look.
817.
Right behind you.
All right, before you.
That's the last one.
This last number. Let me tell y'all about this holster right here. This holster fits. I forget how many guns, but this holster fits like 40 or 50 different guns. So that's why I give it away last. Because whoever wins this is a pretty good prize right there. No matter what kind of pistol you got, it's going to fit. All right, go ahead.
755.
755. All right. There's a good one right there.
All right.
Is everybody ready to hear Mr. Don Bell?
All right. All right, guys, listen, what we're going to do, those of you, if you want to, you can just kind of get in closer and make sure. Can everybody hear me in the back? I'll kind of talk loud. Is that too loud? Am I talking too loud? Guys, this is being filmed, so don't pick your nose. He's bad about getting it. Now, you think, I don't know how he does it, but he looks for it, you know. All right, guys, listen, we're glad you're here. Today, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about hunting the rut here in Alabama. Is anybody in here today not from Alabama? Everybody's from Alabama. Where you from? Florida? Well, guys, my name's Don Bell. We've been in the hunting industry for 30 years. We actually do more seminars than anybody in the industry. When I leave here in a couple hours, I'm headed to Texas. I won't be back home till October 3rd, 4th week in October. We've been doing it for 30 years. By the way, there's 14 million deer hunters. You want to put that in perspective? The largest standing army in the world, America is. America, as the only superpower, we have 1.6 million men and women under arms. There's 8.5 times more deer hunters than there is the largest army in the world. You really want to put it in perspective, there's more deer hunters than the top 18 industrialized armies of the world combined. That's the reason. Guys, look it up. That's more than America, Russia, China, France, Germany, all combined. And the good people in America's had a gut full of it, hasn't they? So people don't want to screw with the deer hunters. That's just deer hunters with guns, by the way. All right, what we're going to do today, you guys feel relaxed, be able to ask questions. This is not a high-tech seminar. It is a seminar. We're going to start talking about what deer are doing today. We're going to walk you through the hunting season, okay? To begin with, in order to hunt the rut, you need to know when it is. Most hunters misunderstand two words. The first word they misunderstand is the word rut, and the second one is the word estrus. All right? The word rut. In order to hunt the rut, you need to know when it is. If we were going to fight Russia, in other words, bang, the phone rings, and it says Russia has attacked America, right? I'm just turning it off. I'm bad about that. If we're going to fight Russia, we need to know, if we're going to send 500,000 troops to Russia, we need to know where in the world geographically Russia is. If Russia is located over there, then we don't need to send them over there to Germany. They're going to frown on that, right? Now, if we know where Russia is, and you see how big this man is, are we going to fight him at his strength, or are we going to fight him at his weakness? We're going to take advantage of his weakness. Nobody wants to walk up there and slap a guy upside the head that's this big. You want to hit him at his knees, right? Well, it's the same way hunting. In order to hunt the rut, you need to know where it is, when it is. What I'm about to tell you is probably going to shock you. And stay with me. Most hunters, when I say the word rut, what's the first thing you picture a buck doing? Anybody? Chasing a doe. Everybody look at me. That's not the rut. The rut is broken into 3 periods. Where Mark is pre-rut, archery season. Then you have what's called the peak of the rut, and then you have what's called post-rut. The peak of the rut is sort of like climbing a mountain. You start at the beginning of the season, it peaks, and it goes down. Most hunters think that the rut is when a buck's chasing a doe. In fact, 80% of all deer scent is sold in about a 4-week window. You see these guys? You know why? Most hunters think that that's the rut. If you think that that's the rut, you're going to be missing 3/4 of the hunting season using rut tactics. And that's what this seminar is going to be about. The second word most people misunderstand is the word estrus. If I'm standing here like this and somebody opens that door and a buck comes chasing a doe through here, I mean, everywhere she goes, he goes, just like Bugs Bunny. It's not Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner, is it? Bugs Bunny and who? Who chases the Bugs Bunny? Coyote chases. Everywhere she, yeah, everywhere she goes, he goes. That buck comes chasing that doe through here. You say, hey, Don, look at that doe. That doe is in what? Estrus. Everybody look at me. She is not. I know you're thinking, dude, you need to go back. By the way, I'm from Wilcox County. That may explain it. You're thinking, dude, I don't know where you're from, but the rut is not the entire hunting season. Yes, it is. You're telling me when a buck's chasing a doe, she is not in estrus. Everybody look, she is not. The word estrus literally means an animal will stand and not run. How many of you ever seen a buck chase a doe? Live, TV, video? Why do you think that doe's running? She's not ready. She's coming in, and he's irritating the dog stew out of her, but when she comes in, she will not run anymore. She's going to stand. The peak of the rut is when the majority of the does are standing on your given piece of property. There is a time in which the majority of the does are standing where you hunt. Now, once they start chasing does, we start getting ready for the peak. But when you see a buck chasing a doe, she is not in estrus, she's coming into estrus, okay? Now that we understand these two words, stay with me, we're gonna talk about the rut. Who in here is over 6 foot tall? How tall? 6'5". 6'5"? 6'3". What's your name?
Andy.
Andy?
Yes, sir.
Stand up just a second, Andy. You're gonna get to be our dominant buck. Don't laugh, it's gonna get bad. We ain't picked the doe yet. All right, Andy, you sit down. 6'5"? All right, Andy's gonna be our dominant buck. Right now, as we're sitting here, August, whatever today is, bucks are in bachelor groups in Alabama. They're running together. You don't believe that? How many's already seen more than one buck run together? All right, let's have a contest. Who's seen more than 3? 4, 5, 6. How many? 5, 6, 8. Now, what's crazy about that, Alabama's not unique. Bucks have been running together since season ended. Bucks are more concerned with other bucks than they are with a doe 12 months out of the year. Somebody take a wild guess when a buck's concerned with a doe. Outside of that dude, he ain't much concerned about her. All right? So bucks are running together today. Now, what's amazing about it, this is August. You've already been in the woods. You're getting your food plots. You know, you're bush hogging, getting ready to start planting next month. You're getting ready. You're hanging tree stands. You're back on the property. You start seeing these 5, 6, 8 bucks run together. You get all excited. You go to work the next day and you say, man, listen, the weekend I saw 6 bucks run together. Man, they're getting ready. They're bunching up. They're getting ready for season. The bucks that you're seeing run together today in August have been running together in Alabama since February. When season ended in post-rut, not only in Alabama but all over North America, when season ends, you ever wondered why they have season when they do? This is why. When season ended last year, bucks started getting back together in bachelor groups. So the bucks you're seeing run together today have been running together since February. Our big dominant buck right here. You worried you're going to be a doe, ain't you, boy? I can see it in your eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 guys is going to be subordinate bucks, teenagers. Now, if you're not, take it up with him after the seminar. All right, so what happens is, this is literally the way it happened. Now stay with me. We're going to take you from February through season, and we're going to shoot this deer right here in just a few minutes. All right? Season ended last year here. What county are we in? Etowah, Marshall. Right here in Etowah and Marshall counties, in February, bucks started getting back together. So what happened is, these young teenagers right here, these little young bucks, they come up to Mr. Dominant Buck and they said, sir, you got a job? Dominant Buck says, man, I ain't got no job. Said, we ain't got no job either. Say, hey, why don't we go down to Farmtown and we'll get us an apartment and we'll bachelor up together. share the expenses. Makes sense. So in February, this buck and these young bucks started running at the foot of that dominant buck. Just like these young boys and girls learns about life at the foot of the father, the mom, here it is. So these bucks started running together. Now all spring, Mr. Dominant Buck, you're doing a pretty good job. It's yes sir, no sir. And by the way, you do live in a part of the world, it's yes sir, no sir, don't you? Go north. Guys, if you think it's bad here, go north. America's in a tight spot right now. It's time for the good people to speak up. So what happens is, these young bucks that are running, they're paying attention. It's yes sir, no sir. Now all spring, they're running with that big buck. Summer comes along, and high school lets out. And these young bucks here, they start partying. I mean, dude, they're going to Albertville, you know, they're going to Boaz, you know, they're having a big time. With a big buck right here, this is summer. The big buck says, hey, look, girls, if you're gonna party, I'll show you the way the big dog does it. So the big buck, he starts showing the young boys how to party. Now, big dog, you're hanging tight with them. Summer, June, July, August, first, middle part, late September. These boys come in one night and say, big buck, dog, get dressed. We're going to Lake Gunnersville. We're going to paint that lake this weekend. This big buck, latter part of September, first part of October, he's getting ready to come out of velvet. And as a general rule, the first buck out of the bachelor groups that will come out of velvet will be your most dominant buck. Dominant does not always mean bigger, right? If this young man knows Taekwondo and he does not, unless he's got a pistol, he's going to win. Dominant does not always mean bigger. As a general rule, do you know Taekwondo? I'd leave him alone then. I'm just saying. Dominant does not always mean bigger. As a general rule, dominant means older, more mass, bigger, older. So here's what happens. They're going to paint the town. They're all excited. They come in. Now, notice my timeline. February, June, July, August, now September. Late September, first part of October. When does deer season come in Alabama? October the what? 15th. Isn't it amazing when they have deer season when they do? Think about that. First part of October, first 2 weeks in October, that big buck, they come in and say, baby, get dressed, we're going to Lake Gunnersville. We're going to stay up all night. That buck looks at these young kids and says, guys, I've had it up to here. I'm tired of your loud music, you're partying, you're running around all night long. He takes the keys to the apartment. I'm out of here. The first buck, as a general rule, that will lead the bachelor groups is going to be your most dominant buck. Why? First part of October in Alabama, that buck's getting ready to come out of velvet. Velvet is nothing more than a scab. He's getting irritable. How many of you played baseball, softball? How many of you slid into second base? You got that little strawberry burn, and it got a scab? You remember and you picking at it, and what'd your mama tell you? Boy, you better quit picking at that scab. If you keep picking at it, it's going to leave a what? Why are you picking at it? Because it's healing, it's itching and drying up, and you're picking at it. Velvet is like a scab. And when the blood supply starts coming out in October in Alabama, then he starts getting irritable. So he leaves the bachelor groups. The first thing that buck's going to do, he's going to take that velvet off. All right, when he takes the velvet off, he'll do it. Some of them will do it in a day, some will do it in 2 or 3 days, a week. But he's going to take the velvet off. Now this buck is leaving the apartment. The subordinate bucks are still at the apartment. He doesn't have a roof over his head. So what this buck does during first part of the year, now we're getting ready for pre-rut, opening day of bow season. When season opens in Alabama, are the majority of the bucks in or out of velvet? Out. Pre-rut. So now then, opening day, the majority of the bucks are out of velvet. that buck doesn't have a roof over his head. So what that buck does during just beginning of pre-rut, he leaves the apartment. He's going to build him a house where he's going to live during the rut. When is the rut? The entire hunting season. So watch this. First thing he does, he's going to take him antlers, he's going to come up to a tree, and he's going to hook that tree. He does it for two reasons. One is to take the velvet off. The second reason, University of Georgia calls it signposting. We know it as a rub, right? So what he does, he rubs that tree. But what he's going to do, he's going to build him a house. And here's what he does. He comes up to the tree, he rubs it, he takes an 8-foot 2x4, he stands it up, and he's going to stud him a house up. He's going to go down the ridge, he's going to come up the ridge over here, he'll hook another tree, he'll stand another 8-foot 2x4 up. He'll go all the way around this building, an area, and he'll make a rub line. How many of you have ever scouted and you found a rub line? You saw a rub and you got to looking and you could line them up down through the woods. How many of you ever seen that? See the hands? All you have found during pre-rut is his 2x4 studded wall, just like this wall. All right? So during pre-rut, you have found his studded wall. The second thing he's going to do during pre-rut is he's going to make what's called a secondary scrape. First name again? Andy. Mr. Andy here. Andy, look at me. It's been a year. Nobody's listening. It's just you and me. You understand what I'm telling you? It's been a year. He's all dressed to go to the prom. When a buck sheds velvet, biologically, that buck is in rut and he can breed. The problem is when season comes in, he's out of velvet. Biologically, he can breed. He's all dressed to go to the prom. You understand what I'm telling you? I mean, he got a little tux on, man, he's ready to go to the prom. Problem is, there's no does in what? Estrus. So that buck, he's frustrated, he's taking the velvet off, he's dressed to go to the prom, and he goes down this rub line, and he'll take his front feet and he'll paw at the ground. This scrape is, University of Georgia calls it a secondary scrape. There's two kinds of scrapes, a secondary and a primary. This is called a secondary scrape. I call it a frustration scrape. This is an opening of season. He's out of velvet, he can breed, he's frustrated. Can't you see him? He's going down past his rub line, he's taking his front feet, and he'll just paw at the ground. As a general rule, he does not mark it. He hits it and he leaves. He'll hit it and he'll leave. He'll hit it and he'll leave. He may have 5, 10, 15, 20 of these little scrapes all the way around the perimeter of his house. What two people in here hunt together? All right, first names? Dan.
Trish.
Dan and Trish. All right, Dan and Trish. Here we go. Dan, he's out scouting. Dan sees what looks like a rub on a tree. Opening day of bow season. He looks at that and he says, good Lord, he says, I got a screwed up buck. Thinking to himself, I got a buck thinks it's a rut. So he says, man, that can't be a rub line. So he gets to looking and he looks and he sees a second one and a third one. He's thinking, good Lord, I got a screwed up buck. Now, Trish, he's Mr. Hunter. He's easing along here and he steps right in the middle of one of them little frustration scrapes. He's standing there thinking first part of October, even before season comes in, he's thinking, I got a buck thinks it's a rut. Now, he sees that little secondary scrape and he's thinking to himself, now I know that can't be no stinking scrape. Well, he gets to looking, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20. This old boy is pumped up. He comes back to the camp where Miss Trish has got him a potted meat sandwich made. Don't tell me you don't eat it. Good, ain't it? Huh? Don't read what's in it, dude, because it's just everything else. So Miss Trish has got him a potted meat sandwich, and she looks at her husband and says, baby, did you see anything? He looks at his wife and drops his head and says, baby, I didn't see a thing. Why? Why is he not going to tell her the truth? How many of you, and show of hands, how many of you have hunted pre-rut, seen the rub lines, seen those little secondary scrapes, got all excited, you wouldn't tell your mama what you found, Because the opening day of bow season, what you gonna do? How many of you have sit there all day, all week, never seen a buck? The rest of you lying. Why? Why is it during pre-rut in Alabama, you have all of this activity and you can't see that buck? Because you're treating that secondary scrape as though he's marking it. If he's not marking it, as a general rule, he's not checking it. He's frustrated. He's hitting it and leaving it. He's hitting it and leaving it. He's dressed to go to the prom because he's in rut. By the way, when a buck comes out of velvet, biologically, he is in rut. He can breathe. So when season opens in Alabama, you just said it, the majority of the bucks are out of velvet. That means the majority of the bucks are in rut. That begs the question, how long are they in rut? What's the last legal day we can hunt in Alabama? February 10th. When season goes out over here on February the 10th, do the bucks still have antlers, horns? Yes. Did you know a buck is in rut anywhere in North America from the time he sheds velvet to the time he drops his horns? So guess when the rut is in Alabama? The entire hunting season. So here we go. That buck, he goes along in pre-rut. Now, Mr. Dominic Buck, what you're going to do, this is pre-rut. You're going to go along. Then just before the peak of the rut, just before the peak, that buck is going to go along the perimeter of his house. And guys, don't get hung up. I get asked all the time, well, how big is the house? It doesn't matter. No. If he's a big buck, he's got a big area. I want everybody to look around this room. You see the different sized men? I assure you the size house you live in does not make you dominant. Am I right?
Sir.
That's based off of topography and pressure. All right, so here we go. So what happens is this buck's going to leave pre-rut, first part of archery season. As we go into the peak, just before the peak, this buck's going to go along. This is real important. He's going to go along the perimeter and he's going to open up one of these frustration scrapes. He'll go along the wall and he'll open up a scrape. University of Georgia calls this a primary scrape. I call it a master bedroom. Did you know in pre-rut, this buck will allow any of the bucks in this room to come into the den of this house and watch Monday Night Football. He'll let them go to the refrigerator and get something to drink. But once he designates the master bedroom in this house, don't come down the hall. You see what I'm saying? So what this buck's going to do, he's going to designate now, just before the peak, open up one of these scrapes. University of Georgia calls it a primary scrape. I call it a frustration scrape. It is always underneath what? Always underneath an overhanging limb. If you're not sure it's active, it's not hard. Get you a limb and just cover it up. I mean, literally, get a limb and just cover it up with leaves. A buck is like a bass. I know this close to Gunnersville, we got bass fishermen in here. When a bass is on the bed and you throw something in the bed, what's that bass going to do? You're going to get it out. You covered that master bedroom up, that buck's going to open it up. He's going to keep it open because he's going to mark this one. This is the one he's going to check. Okay? So a buck is like a bass. So he designates a master bedroom. Now, he's going to mark this scrape. Have you guys ever seen a buck mark a scrape? Mr. Dominic Buck, you want to show them? I did that one time at Bass Pro, and that guy was drunk. Dude, I ain't lying. It took several of us to keep getting that guy off the stage. He meant he was going to show them how a buck marks a scrape. Here's the way a buck marks a scrape. Any buck, when he goes into rut, just ahead of the peak of the rut, his neck will start swelling. The rutting odor of a white-tailed buck consists of three things. Here's how he's going to designate the master bedroom in this house. He's going to come in, he's going to open up one of these scrapes underneath the overhanging limb, and he's going to do these three things. With his neck swollen, he's going to urinate over the tarsal glands. A lot of people call it hocks. It's called a tarsal. They're both on the back inside leg of the deer. It's a tuft of hair, secretes a musk. So the ruddy odor of that buck, the way he's going to mark his bedroom, his neck's swollen, he's going to urinate over the tarsals, and he's going to rub his legs together like this. Tough way to make a living, you know what I'm talking about? My daughter hates it still, and she's 32. So he's going to urinate over his tarsals, he's going to rub his legs together, the urine mixes with the musk into the scrape. He'll do one other thing. How many of you have ever seen a buck paw the scrape like that? This year you kill a buck, spread the hoof, take a knife, just kind of rake down in there, you're going to get a jelly-like substance. It's not toe jam. It's called tarsal. It's the interdigital gland. The interdigital is like your fingerprint. Everybody's got a fingerprint. So the ruddy odor of this buck consists of neck swollen, urine with the musk into the scrape, then he puts his fingerprint in it. That is his personal ruddy odor. Now, why does he mark this scrape? Yeah. So what he does is, so here's the den. So he comes over here and he makes him a master bedroom. The reason he marks this scrape is two reasons. First is to tell every buck in this building, you keep your butt out of here. No more Monday night football. Don't bring your butt down that hall. The second reason is to tell all the girls in Farmtown, baby, come see me. Here I am. Hey, come see me. Now, all deer has three defenses: ears, eyes, nose. Ears, eyes, nose. What's the most important?
Nose.
Wind's going this way. Which way's downwind? That way. If this is a scrape, which way is the buck going to check his scrape? Downwind. Why doesn't a buck have to just walk up and look in the scrape? He's going downwind for two reasons. Well, one reason is to check it, but he can tell if it's a buck there or if it's a doe. When a buck smells it, it's telling him one thing, and if a doe smells it, he's telling that doe to come in. A buck comes downwind, it's territorial. A doe comes downwind, she may like what she smells. She may like what she smells. If she does, you know what she's going to do? She's going to come into that master bedroom and she's going to do one or two things. She's either going to urinate in that scrape and or put droppings in it. How many of you ever found droppings in a scrape? You know what that's like? She goes downwind, smells that big boy right there. She says, look at him. Pretty good old boy right there. So she comes up there, she urinates and puts droppings in it. She pulls out a business card. She goes off over here and she beds or she browses. When that buck goes downwind, what he's checking on and what he wants to smell is what? That calling card. Tells a receptive doe he's going to come in. He'll come in, trail the doe up, and breed her. Does that make sense? That's the purpose of the master bedroom. Now people say, "Oh, Don, you're over-exaggerating about the master bedroom." Guys, listen to me. We could take any teenager here up. We'll all go get in that trailer out there and we'll go anywhere in Farmtown. Go up to anybody's house. We don't even know them. Knock on the door and we can walk in as an adult. Walk in and go, that's the master bedroom. Have you ever wondered why we as humans call it the master bedroom? We as humans give a respect to that room versus any other room in the house. We give a reverence to it. And if you don't believe that, I don't care if it's your daddy, your brother, your uncle, your grandfather, your best friend. They buy a new house. Ain't got a stick of furniture in it. They show you the kitchen, they show you the den, they show you the bathroom. They invite you down the hall into the master bedroom. How many of you sitting here, once you step foot in that master bedroom, you feel a little uneasy? There ain't a stick of furniture in it. Nobody's even lived in the house. Because it's instilled in us the dignity of that reverence on that room. When that buck marks this scrape, he's serious. No more Monday night football. He's checking for that receptive duct. Now here is the way you kill that buck. How many of you in here has ever used any deer urine? Deer scent? Have you guys ever wondered how they collect that? Well, I'm going to tell you. There's 87 scent companies in America. That's how many was at the ATA, Mark. 87. Here's a way historically. By the way, I've been collecting deer urine for 30 years. I have bottled millions, tens of millions, bottles of deer urine. That's something to brag about, ain't it? You guys ever heard of Tank 69? Bottled that. Code Blue. That's my patent. So we understand deer urine. The way to collect deer urine is they collect urine from this many deer. Mark says, guys, it's hot outside. Hey, we're going to have plenty of liquids. There's water. There's Coke. Don't want you to dehydrate. But guys, there's a 55-gallon drum at the door. Before you leave, we want you to donate. And when we fill that 55-gallon drum up, did you know that, first of all, you ain't going to fill it up today. So it's filled up over a period of time. Did you know a 55-gallon drum of deer urine will bottle 7,040 one-ounce bottles? I used to batch 10 drums a day with Tank 69, 70,000 bottles a day. If you opened them, they all smell what? The same. And the reason for it is when you collect urine from this many deer, you lose the individuality of everybody here. And so over a period of time is what you have is a blend of urine with one smell, ammoniated dark. Does that make sense? So that's the reason why people say, I don't want, if you're in a hunting club, I don't want to hunt what they're hunting with, because if I'm a buck, let's say that I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this row of men. And let's say that you're using, let's just say Tank 69 because I bottled it. I'm not picking it out. If it's not Code Blue or Top Secret, it is a blend. It's not complicated. If it's not Code Blue or Top Secret, it is a blend of urines. Here I go. I'm a buck. I'm a hunter. I'm standing up. I'm a buck. There's the hunter. He stands up to shoot me. And his stand squeaks. And I blow. I blow and I go 400 yards down the ridge to this man. He's using the same thing he's using. Guess what my butt does when I get to him? Blow. I blow. Guess what I do to him and to him and to him, and bless his heart, he don't even know that sucker. I'm just blowing. I left Tinks to introduce Code Blue. Code Blue changed the scent industry. The patent on Code Blue is one deer, one bottle. What we did at Code Blue is we collect from everybody here, but individually. One buck, one bottle, one buck, one bottle, one doe, one bottle, different doe, different bottle. Every bottle was from a different deer. Changed the industry. Same buck, same hunters, everybody's using Code Blue. I come into him, stand squeaks, I blow. I go 400 yards down the ridge, I calm down. Why? Different deer. Different deer, different deer, different deer. Code Blue is the finest this industry's ever seen until about 3 years ago. I introduced Top Secret. Somebody tell me the first thing you notice about that urine. What color is it? It's clear. See that? That's patented in 4 different ways. This has never seen oxygen. This is single urine. It has never seen oxygen. Oxygen ammoniates urine. It turns it dark. This is a game changer. This year we sponsored 115 television shows. Outdoor Channel, Sportsman's Channel, Pursuit Channel, Wild TV. 21,537 spots. You say, my Lord, why? This is a game changer. Here's why. I want everybody in this room, when you leave here, at least ladies tell your husbands to do it. Get you a clear glass. And when you get home, I want you to urinate in it. All urine voided is sterile. It is a clear yellow. human, dog, cat, horse, giraffe, deer, all urine voided is sterile. It should be a clear yellow. If it's not, I'm just saying you may want to get it checked. Here we go. Clear yellow. Your urine, 11:30. Tomorrow at this time, your urine, the top off, is already going to be brown or turning dark brown. The only variable to your urine, or mine, is oxygen. Oxygen ammoniates urine and turns it dark. That says that you were here, but you're not here now. You were here yesterday, the day before, last week, last month, but you're not here now. First time that sees oxygen is when you open it. That says you are here now, not that you were here. Does that make sense? This is 3 ounces. Code Blue retails for $12.95. That retails for $14.95 for 3 ounces, not 1 ounce. That says you're here now. Now watch this. We also make that in foam. Now, guys, this is, I didn't get a piece of paper. You ain't got a piece of cardboard or something, do you? I knew there was something. That bag right there will work. That bag right there will work. Just where you'll know that I'm not stupid, this one doesn't have urine in it. I have to mark it because the people at the office like to fool my butt. Watch this. 8.5 ounces, $19.95. 300 pumps in this. I do seminars all over the country. This will make you get up out of your chair. This is different. First time I sees oxygen is when I foam it. How many of you use a scent drag? All right, here we go. I get out of the truck. I put a scent on a drag. I trail it over here, and I get up in the tree. Which way is the scent the freshest? Where I started. I'm a buck. I come walking along, I hit that scent trail, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn and go to your truck and drink your coffee while you freeze your butt off. Is that not true? It's fresher where you started. Watch this. Foam. First time it sees oxygen is when I foam it there. See that? First time it hits oxygen when I get out of the truck. Oh, by the way, ladies, men are visual animals. As though I have to tell you that. Watch this. Out of the truck, 15, 20 yards. This one's fresher than that one. 15, 20 yards. That one's fresher than this one and this one. 15, 20 yards. This one's fresher than this one and this one. Same buck. When I hit it, which way am I going? I'm going to you. Because it's directional. For the first time in the hunting industry, it's directional. That's a game changer. Now it's that way. Let me show you why that's so important. We're fixing to shoot this deer. How many of you use a grunt call? Guys, how many of you own a grunt call? Let's just honest now. It's just us. Oh, Mark, you come in and say, hey, Mark, man, dude, does that stuff really work? Oh, yeah, baby. You need you one of them grunt calls. Trusted Mark and everything, good old boy. He said, look at him, this is a good one. $19.95. He told you if you get a grunt and you get up in the tree and grunt like a pig, you'll see you'll buck. How many have gotten up in the tree and grunted like a pig? Be honest, and ain't never seen a stinking buck. Raise your hands. Come on, be honest. Yeah, the rest of you lying. Now watch. He's right. But when you get up in a tree, 95% of all grunts is a tending grunt. So when you grunt, it's a tending grunt, which means a buck is tending a doe, right? So when you get up and I grunt and that buck's over there, what did I just tell that buck? I told him, you're telling another buck, you don't even know he's there, you hope he is. So you get up in the tree and you grunt. What I just told him was another buck is tending a doe. Whose doe?
His doe.
Where?
Right here.
Territorial infringement. 3 defenses: ears, eyes, nose. What's the most important? Nose. You can whip his ears with this. You can whip his ears with that. Both of those, when I do that, I'm telling him 2 bucks of sparring. What are they fighting over? Doe. Whose doe? His doe. Downwind. Grunting and rattling simply puts a deer downwind. Bless you. So he goes downwind. The reason he goes downwind, he's wanting to smell what he's hearing. The #1 scent sold in America, guess what it is? Estrus. You know why? Because most hunters think this is the rut. And you're wondering why you're using estrus. So you're grunting or rattling and you got estrus. It'd be like you going home tonight after this seminar late tonight, and you turn and you go in and you go into your master bedroom, lights are out, and you smell Old Spice cologne. And you're thinking, you know, I don't wear Old Spice cologne. That ain't a good sign. So what you go downwind, I hear a grunt, a buck tending a doe, I go downwind. The buck that you just grunted is downwind doing this. It's called fleaming. You ever seen a buck curl the upper lip? It's got a little diamond-shaped gland, top paddle of the mouth. Sole purpose of that rascal is to read urine. He can tell whether he's in rut or she's in estrus. So he's downwind, fleaming, you don't even see him. He hears a buck tending a doe in his bedroom, master bedroom, and all he smells is a doe. That'd be like you coming home smelling Old Spice, flip the light on, see your wife. You ain't looking for your wife, are you? Who you looking for? You're looking for Old Spice. So the buck's downwind, he smells the doe, but he can't confirm his ears, so he does not come in, and then you say, that doesn't work. When you grunt and rattle, you have got to use buck urine. That man right there has heard this seminar enough times. If you put a gun to my head right now, and guys, keep in mind, I have bottled tens of millions bottles of scent. If you put a gun to my head right now and say you got one chance to kill a buck and you throw me out anywhere in America, you know the one I'll choose between estrus and buck? Why? Because the opening day of bow season right now, today, you can put buck urine out today on your piece of property and any buck in this room is going to come to you. They're not mad. They just want to see who the new kid on the block is. Well, you don't care. You just want to shoot him. Right? They just want to see who the new kid is. They're not mad, but watch this. Buck urine starts good. You hunt this every day of the hunting season. Literally, if you quit work and hunt it every day, you use buck. This starts good. It's going to get better. Any buck will come to it and watch this. The closer it gets to his master bedroom and you put it in his bedroom, it's like coming home smelling Old Spice. Now he's mad. Because there it was in the den, here it's in his master bedroom. Does that make sense? Now watch. When you grunt, I get up in the tree and I grunt. Buck tending a doe, he goes downwind. Watch this. Buck, estrus. I get out of the truck, I phone buck, estrus. Buck, estrus. Buck, estrus. What do I have? I have a buck trailing a doe. Which way are they going? They're going to you. Which is exactly what you're telling it. Does that make sense? Guys, listen to me. This year, get you buck urine. Hunt it every day of the year. The difference between top secret and anybody else's is top secret is oxygen free from collection to the bottle. This is literally never seen oxygen. It's neat. We've got it in estrus, we got it in buck, we got it in doe. Never seen oxygen. If you want to tell a deer that you're there now, does anybody here, you take your vacation when? About the third week of January? Right? Third, fourth week in January? Why? Everybody thinks this is a rut. You're missing 2/3 of the hunting season using rut tactics. You use buck urine I'll give you my cell number, and it will shock you what you'll see and the caliber that you'll see. You can do it today. All these animals out here, go out there and ask the gentleman with the bucks. Where is he in here? You go out there and ask him. Scent tells other animals how long it's been since you've been there. So get your buck urine, use it every day of the year, and grunt and rattle. If you don't have a grunt call, you need to get a grunt call. We don't make it. You got plenty. You need a grunt call. Guys, look at me. If you're sitting up in a tree, wind's going that way, and if that buck's walking down that wall over there, he don't even know you in the world. You can have a 55-gallon drum of urine poured out. He can't smell it. If you grunt, he's going to go downwind. Grunting and rattling only puts a deer downwind. You see what I'm saying? So if you're sitting in a tree without grunting, you're just letting deer walk past you. But if you grunt, you need to be telling them, you need to be confirming his ears, because this is going to put him downwind. This keeps him alive. You can whip this, grunting and rattling. You can whip that with a decoy. This keeps his butt alive. Does that make sense? All right. Let me stop just a second and give you a chance to ask some questions. What we're talking about here is not complicated. Look at it as a story. It's a progression. Bucks today are running in bachelor groups. First one's going to break out as your most dominant. First thing he's going to do, he's going to make a rub line. Secondary scrapes. Then he's going to designate a master bedroom. He's going to mark it. He's going to check it. And by the way, if you shoot that buck over a scrape, do you quit hunting that scrape? No. The only reason that buck's not in that scrape is because he'll kick his butt. In the absence of him, he's the next most dominant buck's going to hunt that scrape. In the absence of him, he's going to take it. There is a pecking order. In America today, we want everybody to be the same. Well, that's not the way life works. It's just not. You're going against nature. So the most dominant, you take him out, you still, how many of you hunted scrapes last year, saw all those scrapes? You can hunt it again this year. If you got a rib along the field, you see scrapes, you'll see scrapes there next year. And if you're going along in pre-rut and you don't see a scrape, you think, man, this would be a great area for a scrape, make a mock scrape. Get you a limb, open it up, put you some buck urine in it. You can make a mock scrape. See what I'm saying? Let me stop a second and give you a chance to ask any kind of questions. You guys feel free to ask any kind of questions that we're talking about. It may be something that we talked about. It may be something we haven't asked. Anybody have any kind of questions you want? And listen, when you ask the question, I'll repeat it. Just one. Yes, sir.
Your selling point
I'll repeat the question where you can hear it.
Your selling point on the liquid urine
Yep.
is oxygen free.
Yep.
Okay, when you use it the first time, what happens?
Well, where'd my bottle go? Oh. We have, Lloyd, could you hand me a scent saver? It's right there on the end. Hey, look here. Yeah, scent saver. I think it's over on the display. The question the gentleman asked is, when you open that bottle, you're not going to use, first of all, I want to make this clear. Where's Mark? I want to make this clear to everybody. That's 3 ounces. When you open it, Mark, how much urine should they use? All of it. Right, Mark? All of it. No, you don't have to. You open that bottle, if you can smell it good, he can smell it great. The hotter it is, the more you're going to have to use. The colder it is, the less you're going to have to use. So now let me get to his question, which is a very good question. If I did this right now today, if I opened that and closed it, tomorrow it's going to be brown. Why? Because I put oxygen in it, which means if you open it to use it and you don't use it all and close it, it's going to go brown. This is called a scent saver system. What this is a pump. This is a 3-ounce empty bottle. That, it's got a plug in it. This is a one-time purchase. It'll last you for years. So let's go hunting. We're going to go hunting tomorrow morning. We open this up right now. We pour it in that bottle. We plug it. We take that little vacuum pump. You pump it out 3 or 4 times. Now there's no oxygen in there. You're ready to go hunting tomorrow, next week, next month. It's like you never opened it. But if you pour it in there and don't pump it, it's going to change color. Now, so let's go hunting. We go hunting tomorrow morning. That's got a little nipple on it. You get ready to go hunting, you push or pull that little nipple and it's going to go. You can open it and use it just like you would any time. You plug it back, pull your little pump out, 3, 4 pumps, no oxygen. For the first time, you can use it all the way down, it still be yellow. It's called a scent saver system, because you're exactly right. That's what's going to happen if you don't open it, and we address that. Does that make sense? All right. Big Buck, you had a question?
So there's no preservatives,
No, sir.
okay, and
He's asked, is there any preservatives? It's not. How we do what we do is patented in 4 different ways.
velvet. I heard that deer sometimes eat it because of minerals. Is it full of minerals, the velvet?
The velvet, yes.
And will they
yes.
turn around and consume it?
Yeah, he's asking the velvet, will a deer sometimes eat their own velvet, and sometimes they will. It's like protein. Not that you want to eat your scab, but yes, sir.
So when I get to my stand and I put this line down correctly,
A scent
how
trail.
close do I need to put that last amount?
Are you bow hunting or gun hunting?
Either one.
Well, the reason I ask that is it's all relevant. We do a show, by the way, on top of sponsoring 115 television shows. We thought it'd be a good idea 2 years ago to do a live call-in show. Every Thursday night, we do a live call, 1 hour call-in show, 52 weeks a year. Every Thursday night is called Hunting the Rut Hotline. You got questions, we got answers, and we just answer these kind of questions. There is a difference. If you're bow hunting, he's got the average bow kills how close?
30, 40 yards.
You got to have him close. If you're gun hunting, you reach out there like AT&T, you know. So the difference matters. If the wind's going this way, the wind's coming off this wall going toward Lloyd, which way is downwind? That buck goes downwind. I grunt, he's going to go downwind. What you have to be careful of is not doing this. Because what that buck will do is he'll quarter to the wind, cup the wind and quarter it, and his butt will be standing right there on it. That's downwind. Not that. That's downwind. He'll cut the wind and quarter it and come in. He's just cutting the air. Does that make sense? So, just depends. I mean, I try to put, if this is the scent, if this is the scrape, most people try to put scent either at the scrape or above it. And what they do is they put it here, and then they hang their stand upwind. Their theory behind that is they want the buck to smell the scent before they smell their scent. How many of you kill your human odor? Guys, listen to me. 3 defenses: ears, eyes, what? What's the most important? You got to kill your human odor. By the way, we introduced last year scent defense. It's called 3-in-1. This kills your human odor. Everything over there kills human odor. Ever how many brands you use kills human odor. This kills human odor. It's called 3-in-1, but it also repels ticks, mosquitoes, chiggers, black flies, plus it's an attractant. You can squirt this out today, and a spotted fawn, a doe, or a buck will come into it 12 months out of the year. They come in with their tongue stuck out, licking their nose. It's not flaming like urine. 3-in-1. You got to kill your human odor. All right, so to answer your question, to kill your human odor, most people put the stand upwind because they want the scent to get to them first where they won't smell them. I go downwind. I go downwind and hang my stand. And there's a reason for that. If you get up in a tree and grunt, don't let me get away with nothing. I get up in a tree and I grunt. Buck hears me. Buck tending a doe. He's going to go downwind. Now, I put him downwind. I don't see him. He now fleems. It's called fleeming. He smells what he's hearing. Now he's coming in. Right? Now he gets in seeing distance of his master bedroom. He's got one other defense. What is it? He's now looking for what he's heard and smelling. And if he can't see it, he's got a chance to do what? Lock up. And if he locks up 20, 30 yards of that master bedroom, and you're 20, 30 yards north of it, you just double the average bow distance. I go downwind, I kill my human odor. If he locks up, he's in boat distance. He's in killing distance. Does this make sense? What I'm telling you today, there is absolutely no difference. This is going to shock a lot of people. There's no difference between a buck in Alabama and one in Manitoba, Canada, one in Texas. They have 3 defenses: ears, eyes, nose. The only difference is topography and pressure on a whitetail. That's the only difference between a deer in Manitoba or Texas or Iowa. Deer live in the corn in Iowa till they cut it, and then in the drainage ditches to the ponds, woodlots. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
I used your product a couple seminar last year.
Yes, sir.
And I used the foaming scent, and I had a nice buck chase me in, nose right to the ground, and he was mad.
Now,
And he was so mad that when I fired my crossbow, he ducked it and missed it. But the stuff worked. It was all on me. Is there any difference between the foaming and the scent saver?
no, this, with guys, on the foam, good question. Foam, you do not need the scent saver. With the foam, you don't need this, only with the liquid. This, it never sees oxygen because each time you foam it, and by the way, look at it. Is it still sitting there? It'll be there tomorrow. Hey, quick question real quick. Just take a quick pulse. Do you guys want that in different color? Is white okay with you? Okay, all right. Oh, does that make sense? Yes, sir.
The question I want to ask is when a doe urinates in the rut, it's already hit oxygen when it comes out. So
The
what?
question is, when a doe during the peak of the rut urinates, it's hit oxygen. Urinating is a natural. Deer, people say, well, I don't use scent, I just kill my odor. Dude, deer urinate 365 days a year. They're urinating on your piece of property as we're talking. Urine, all animals read urine. Watch this. Ladies, do you know what's in a woman's hormone pill? Horse mare's urine.
Yeah.
I was flying back years ago, and a guy told me that. I said, are you kidding me? He told me that, and I said, dude, would one horse mare's urine be better than a blend? He looked at me and said, why? Because I got the patent on it. Any single animal's collection. Urine, once it hits oxygen, simply tells the other animal how long it's been since you've been there. See? So when you pour that out, that's the reason this is so important. Do you want to tell him you were there or you are there? There's yellow says he's first time it hits oxygen is when you pour it out. That says you're here versus you were there yesterday.
Are you going to make this in a aerosol can?
No, sir, we do not have an aerosol can, but we do have it in a 1-ounce spray. Look, guys, that's $14.95 for 3 ounces. Code Blue's $12.95 for 1 ounce. That's 3 times the product for $1.95. That's $19.95 for 8.5 ounces.
Does it have a shelf life?
You can buy that, and we guarantee it to you, to that dealer. It can sit on his shelf for life. It can't change. There's no oxygen. If you open it, it's going to change. Or if you go and see one of ours that's turned, we don't make the caps. If it's got a hairline crack in it, it's going to change color. And if it does, you let us know and we'll replace it. In fact, we'll have a dealer call us and say, hey, Don, dude, I had a bottle change. We said, man, that's great. Because we say that proves our point. If it gets oxygen, it's going to change the color. Catch your urine and look at it. Anybody else? Anyone else? Guys, listen, we appreciate you coming. It is available for you. 115 television shows. Guys, don't get caught without this stuff. We are in a phenomenal growing mode. We're doing everything we can do to fill this market. But it's tough. So, you know, don't wait to the end. First of all, open day of bow season, be using buck urine. You get your estrus now, you buck, and you got it for later. If you wait till later, you may not have that. And please don't get mad at that dealer. Mark, you ordered this in January, didn't you? Or was it January? February. So don't get mad at him if he runs out, because we're doing everything we can do to furnish the market, okay? Guys, we appreciate you coming. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to talk to you one-on-one. They have the product here available for you. We appreciate it. Tell everybody about it. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to talk to you one-on-one, okay?
What John was asking, is there any difference between the phone and the bottle?
No.
That's what you're asking.
Yeah, no, there's no difference between the two.
How do you
It's just application.
How do you applicate that?
This,
How do you put that out?
this,
Yeah.
oh, you just pull the plug out just like you open the bottle. But
Just put your finger over it or something?
well, you just pull that out, pour it out, and plug it back and pump it out.
And then pump the oxygen back out.
The phone works really well.
Oh yeah, listen. Here's the difference.
That looks something. Do you ever come to North Carolina?
Yes, sir.
I was born in Albertville, but I'm down here celebrating Mom's 81st birthday. We got Dixie Deer Classic up
Oh
in
yeah.
Raleigh.
Done it
I'm
a lot
right
of
in that
times.
area, so I was going to say, if you have been up
Yeah,
there,
we
love to get you to
all
come
those
out.
classics. We do them all. I mean, all the seminars I'm doing now was booked last year. I literally leave today, go to Texas. That truck out there, I quit flying on 9/11. That truck sitting down there skinned. September, the end of September will be a year old. It's got 65,000 miles. I'll put another 20 on it in the next 2 months. It's crazy.
Well, appreciate you coming.
Yeah, you, Mom. Happy
Hope to
birthday.
see you again. I'm going to go get
Thank
five
you.
stuff.
Thank you, sir.
At the beginning of the year, do you grind anything? You just put out your
You want to grunt every time you go in the woods. All grunting does is puts the deer downwind. I mean, people,
So would you wouldn't put doe urine out?
doe urine's okay early season. What doe urine does is just regular doe urine. That's what you're talking about. We sell it. Regular doe urine is great early season. Especially if you want to shoot a doe. A buck's not necessarily coming to doe urine, but does will come to it.
Do you have to have it for like if you're going to be grunting, you have to have it?
You need buck urine.
Then-
If you're going to grunt, you need buck urine.
So they don't, if he's standing a doe, he don't necessarily have to smell the doe as long as he smells the doe.
Right, because grunting is a buck. Keep in mind, he's more concerned with the bucks than he is with the duck. Did you know that it's called rub urination when a buck marks a straight? Did you know that a doe rub urinates 365 days a year? Bucks only primarily rub urinate during the fall. A doe, research shows within the first 30 minutes of the time a doe gets up before she leaves the bed area, she's going to rub urinate. I call it a southern phenomenon. Because ladies, you know in the South, if you're going to go to Walmart, it don't matter. They're going to get up and put their makeup on. They're going to get dolled, and they're going to go to the store. Not so much in the north. They just get up and go. A doe, if she gets up every morning while you're at work, she gets up out of that bed, she's going to rub urinate 365 days a year. She's putting on her identity. She'll go. She comes in contact with another older doe, she'll rub urinate in the presence of that doe to show status. A buck primarily only rub urinates in the fall. Interesting. Urine's a constant communication.
Mr. Don, hey, I felt like I learned something from you.
We appreciate that. Hey, little man, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, I know I did learn.
Bye-bye, darling. Huh?
I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
A couple of years ago, I deer hunted at Skyline. I run in on a place where, I heard the bug, and I knew there was a doe in there because I seen her. And I heard that whenever I found, I just happened to walk across it. That bug had tore the hide hair plumb off of that doe everywhere.
If you see a doe, a lot of times, especially when she's first coming in and he's running, they literally will. You see the tough looking at the rear of the doe, you'll see the hair cuffed up. Just like you take your fingers and were to push into the hair, you know how to raise it. I've seen this filming. Does would be so exhausted, would lay down in a brush pile, get up in a brush pile, like a clear cut with a push rope, get up there and lay down. And the buck would get up there and run around and then bed down and wait for her to come out of there. And once she came out, right again. It's just relentless. And the reason for that is she's not in. She's coming in. There's a difference between coming and being. If she's in, she's going to stand. That's the peak. And once, literally, as crazy as what I've told you sounds, because it flies into realities and stuff, if you listen to what I'm telling you, you're going to see bigger, better deer, and you're going to understand why he's doing what he's doing. You know, it's like playing chess. If I understand you, if you call into this show every Thursday night or just listen to it, people will ask these same type of questions. Sometimes they'll send in photographs and we'll put it up and talk about, you know, where do I hang a stand? And just like the gentleman that asked the question back there, well, you know, where do I put my stand? Are you bow hunting or gun hunting? That tells me how to put it. Where do I hang my stand? Are you hunting? Where are you hunting? What's around you? You hunting a food plot? First thing, I don't. The only reason I hunt a food plot is to shoot does. Or it's a feeder. You hunt feeders?
No, I don't.
What's my son? How old are you, darling? 10. My son, he's been hunting 270 since he's 7, 8 years old. You can ask him early. He's 31 now. If you called him up right now and said, "Hey, what's the first thing comes in a green field? What's the first thing comes in a green field?" Does. Second thing comes in a green field. Little young basket bucks. If you're lucky, right at dark, what you gonna see?
You're going to see the big bug.
You know why? Because that big buck's got better sense to get his butt out there in that green field and run around chasing them stinking does. Now, when Derek was little, and I still do this, he's a contractor now, and if he's doing something stupid growing up, I'd say green field. Dad, dude, keep playing in the green field. Some redneck's gonna blow your head off. And so all I gotta tell him at 31 is green field, and he immediately knows whatever he just did is stupid. Right? But right at dark, you may get a chance to see why. Because that big boy's got a better sense to go out there and run them does. You hunt a green field. When do you see him? More times than not, right at dark. You want to kill him? Get 100, 200 yards off that field. Hunt the green field, but 200 yards off. You got to let the does come past you. You got to let them little young bucks come past you. And what happens is that buck is staging darkness to the field. When he gets here, it's too dark to shoot him. You get in there 200 yards, you'll kill him back there, staging to the field. He is timing darkness to the field. But you got to let them little bucks come by. You got to let them does come by to get a chance to kill him.
Okay.
Same way with a feeder. So once you understand him, you can kill him anywhere in North America. Ears, eyes, nose. Difference is topography and pressure. It's the only difference between here.
About the ears, rattling. I missed the part that you talked about that.
Rattling is you can grunt anywhere. Rattling is not always effective. It's tied to buck-doe ratio, but rattling is a misnomer. You don't have to go. You didn't do that. You can do this. He'll come to that just as quick. Look, People say, oh, you got to use big horns. And by the way, if you use a grunt call, do you want your grunt call to sound like a little buck or a big buck? Big buck. Everybody tell you, it don't matter. Oh, You see, I get tickled with the grunt call. We don't make them. We used to be connected with Nightingale. And David and Harold hated me to say this. Oh, when it says big buck grunt. Dude, you go home tonight and you smell Old Spice cologne, you flip the light on, do you give a rat's butt if you see Pee Wee Herman or Superman? And it'd break my heart if it was Pee Wee Herman. It doesn't matter if it's a teenager or a grown man. It's not who, but where. So I'm answering your question about rattling. If you get up in a tree, do you grunt first or do you rattle? Think about it. You grunt. Grunting is a short distance call. Rattling is a long distance call. So if you get up in the tree and you rattle, and I'm a contractor, I'm a supervisor and we're all construction workers, and you come up and say, call John, it's time for lunch. Do I say, John's across the highway over here. Do I say, hey John, it's time to eat? Or do I yell, hey John, hey, time to eat? You yell at you. But if you get up in the tree first thing in the morning and you yell, what you don't know is that sucker, instead of making it home last night, he bedded out there about 50 yards and he's gonna nail your butt up in that tree. You grunt first. If he's not on you in 10 minutes, he's not there, he's across the highway. But you grunt off and on all day long. You know, common sense rules, if that oak tree leaf is spinning and blowing, don't grunt. Let the wind die down just enough to grunt. In between that. See what I'm saying? Don't compete with it. It's just, look, we're the head of the food chain. Most people just don't overthink it.
Was there a preference for a bag like that, or horns, or the black rack, or something?
Absolutely the best thing in the world is antlers.
Yeah.
Antlers will get you killed. You know, back in the day when
I have all three.
Well, back in the day when we didn't know any better, you know, we get them horns and we tie a string to it.
Yeah,
Through the woods. Now somebody's gonna put a gun in, put a shot in your butt.
Yeah.
They shoot you with that, you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. I'll turn them downwind with that just as quick. But again, you haven't got to go bang, bang, bang. I do the same thing. He don't care if it's a teenager or a grown man. It's not who, but where. Not who, but where. And when a doe's in, she don't care. She'll stand until a teenager or a grown man. Doesn't matter if it's a subordinate buck or a dominant buck. You guys know Eddie Salter? Heard of Eddie? We were filming one time, and I got in there late. So Eddie walks in, he says, okay, here's the tree, or the scrape right there, a little old creek comes around, okay, great. So I get in, I put the buck here, and then I get in there and put a tarsal gland, hang a tarsal gland up on the breaking daylight, I hear something, I look, here comes this duck. Now the wind's going this way, the little old creek branch comes around like a horseshoe. Maybe twice as far from here to that wall. And I saw her, big mature duck. I look behind her, here comes this little buck, little old bastard baby. Man, he was high stepping. He was in high cotton, dude. He had him a cougar. He had him a tour woman, you know, and he was following her like, man, look at me. He's so proud. Coming around like that, the moment she got downwind from that primary scrape, she smelt that buck urine, she pivoted just like a Marine, came straight up to me, and when he hit it, he pivoted and went straight away. Isn't that amazing? Both told him two different things. She chose him over that teenager, and he didn't want his butt kicked. That's what urine does for you. It's not just what you smell, but it's where you smell it. See? So the key to it is pre, peak, post. He's going to run the entire season. Start with buck urine, hunt it every day. It's going to get better. Once he starts chasing does, add the estrus to it. Of course, now kill your human odor. The difference in our product and theirs is ours kills the odor, but it repels ticks, mosquitoes, chiggers, black flies, plus it's an attractant. And what's crazy about this, you see that lady right there? Smell that. that you can shampoo your hair in. We do it all the time at shows. Ladies say, well, I ain't gonna do
It's
that.
hard for me to find a shampoo that doesn't make my hair so dry and crazy.
This,
'Cause I got